ESPN mock draft, round 9 and 10 review. We'll do 2 rounds this time. So, first pick of the ninth round, Debo Samuel Sr., now with the Washington Commanders. I love this guy when he's a 49er. He runs over people, plays like a beast, like a monster. In his prime with the Niners, one of my favorite Niners by far. So, yeah, Debo. Great, great nickname. Him and Jaden Daniels could have a great connection. Terry McLaurin's over there, real dynamic with those two. Brian Robinson with running back, Austin Eckler running back. They got Zach Ertz at tight end. So Debo is all about health. That's the biggest question mark for me. I doubt he's going to be healthy full season. But yeah, I'll always be a big fan of Debo. That's the first pick, round 9. Round 2, we're going to keep, or sorry, pick 2, round 9. We're going to keep this theme of health because Cooper Kupp, wide receiver with the Seahawks, is the second pick. Yeah, Kupp with the Rams, fantastic when he's on the field. When he's not on the field, that's where it slipped. And I was pretty surprised. Cooper Kupp started strong last year when Puka Nacua was hurt. Once Puka came back, those targets and catches went to Puka. So Cooper Kupp could have an excellent year if he's on the field with Sam Darnold, as long as Sam performs like he did with the Vikings last year. Jackson Smith and Jigba, the other receiver, they're going to go with some young tight ends. The rookie tight end, Elijah Arroyo, might be the starter. He's one of my sleepers. And then you have Kenneth Walker Jr., we talked about earlier. Love that guy. Health is an issue for him as well. And then you have Charbonnet as the backup running back. So good weapons there. Offensive guru on their coaching staff. So yeah, I'm curious to see what happens with Cooper Kupp. Another receiver coming in at number third pick. This is Jawan Jennings, wide receiver with the Niners. This guy really surprised me last year, stepping up when receivers were hurt. Looked like a bona fide number 2. Some weeks he went off and you would say he was a number 1. He's not happy about his contract. He wants to get paid again. So that's the big issue I have. But if he's going to be healthy, that 49er wide receiver room is decimated. Jawan Jennings could have a great year if he's playing. I just hope this contract stuff gets worked out and he could be out there with George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, Isaac Arendo backing up McCaffrey, Ricky Pearsall, a second year wide receiver right there. And then we have the Niners have a whole host of other receivers they're trying out because Brandon Ayuk, it looks like the earliest he'll be back is week 6. So at this point, I would take Jennings over Kupp and Debo Samuel. With the fourth pick, Tyrone Tracy Jr., he's running back with the New York Football Giants. As of right now, he's slated to be their number 1. They have a couple running backs over there, Devin Singletary, Cam Scatterbro. Hopefully I'm not butchering his name. I liked Tracy last year. He stepped up when he ended up playing better than Singletary. So this could be a good pick. I'm just not high on what the Giants do. However, looking at their depth chart, which I did yesterday, I like their receivers with Malik Neighbors, Darius Slayton, Robinson. They have some good options if they can figure out the quarterback situation. I'm kind of rooting Jackson Dart to win that job and lead this team. But more than likely, they'll probably go with Russell Wilson like they did with the Steelers last year. Russell can have some good weeks. I think consistency, what we saw the last couple seasons, is his biggest issue. Back to Tyrone Tracy, he is on my radar though. He's a guy that I have been drafting as a backup running back, maybe as my flex. With the fifth pick, we're staying in that NFC East with the Dallas Cowboys running back Javonte Williams. He's number 1 on the depth chart I looked at most recently. They also have a crowded running back room, so I'm expecting split carries. It could be a 3-headed, dare I say, monster. I don't have the faith in the guys that are there. So Javonte, he would be much lower than Tyrone Tracy for me at this point. So we'll see. I like the other offensive weapons and Pickens and Lamb that we talked about. Ferguson, tight end. I do like Dak. Dak gets a lot of hate as a quarterback. I've had him a couple times fantasy. If he's on the field, he's productive. So we'll see. Javonte Williams with the 5th pick. Number 6 pick in our 6th tight end drafted in this mock draft is TJ Hawkinson. I've been a fan of this kid since he was drafted out of Iowa, I think, same place George Kittle played for. Hawkinson has had some injuries, so last year coming back from the injury, he wasn't as explosive as he was before he got hurt the year prior. I'm expecting a bounce back. He could be J.J. McCarthy's safety blanket. And with Justin Jefferson on the field, Justin's going to get double coverage. So this should open things up for TJ when Jordan Addison comes back. Another really solid receiver. And then Aaron Jones, which we talked about round or two ago, Aaron Jones at running back and Jordan Mason. They have a good running back room too. So TJ Hawkinson, tight end 5 or 6. Yeah, I'm down for that. I'd love to have him on my squads. Seventh pick in this round, running back for the Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco. This running back room is crowded too. You got Elijah Mitchell over there, Kareem Hunt's over there. There's another guy that I just can't recall his name right now. I think they might even drafted a rookie. There's so many running backs in Kansas City right now. And Pacheco's had some injury history the last couple years, so I'm dropping him. I just can't. There's other guys that I like next two picks. In fact, other guys I like more than him because the room's not as crowded. With the eighth pick of round nine, Cam Scatabo. Just talked about him a second, even though I mispronounced his name. Scatabo. He's in that running back room with Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary. I'm expecting them all to get carries. Cam looks like an explosive player from what I've seen in college. So that's intriguing. Do you flip a coin? Do you go Cam? Do you go Tyrone? Do you go Singletary? Do you got 2 coins to flip? So we'll see. I would draft Tyrone and Cam over Singletary at this point. I like the potential from both those young guys. Tyrone going into, I think, year two, and then Cam going into his rookie season. With the ninth pick, Ramondre Stevenson, running back with the Patriots. Round or two ago, we talked about, it was last round 8, Travion Henderson, the other running back in New England. I'm expecting these guys to split carries. Another coin toss. Stevenson, if you go back to the beginning of the last year pre-draft, I was really high on him. Quite a few folks were high on what he could do out there in Patriots. If they continue to get better offensively, Stephon Diggs over there, some other weapons, Drake May getting better, Stevenson could be a good pick, as well as Henderson, his other backfield running mate. So another guy to keep your eye on to see who's getting reps and what you're hearing out of camp. And with the last pick in round 9, a wide receiver, the number one receiver should be of the Las Vegas Raiders, Jacoby Myers, former New England Patriot. Brock Bowers will be the bona fide number one as tight end for Geno Smith. Jacoby should be that next target, and he could have a lot of catches over there for Oakland. He's just middle of the road for me. Like he doesn't stand out like some of these other guys. I'm definitely taking Debo, Cooper Kupp, Jennings over him. But when you don't have as many mouths to feed catching the ball, he could put up some good possession type yards. All right, let's go to round 10 and we'll close this out. Round 10, ESPN mock draft. First pick is Evan Ingram, tight end. I really like this guy too. He's played with Jacksonville for a long time. This is his first year in the Denver Broncos system, who I know you've heard me in other videos. I'm super high on the Broncos offense. There's a lot of weapons there. And Marvin Mims Sr. I was just reading something on Troy Franklin, who Sean Payton, the head coach, keeps singing praises of. Evan Ingram, he is an offensive receiving type tight end. If he's healthy, I'm expecting he'll be really good. So I'm keeping him on my list as well. Just to, once you get in this back end, if you don't get one of those top 3, 4 wide receiver or tight ends, there's a few guys in here that are on that next tier for me. So Evan Ingram, I really like that one. Second pick, round 10, Ricky Pearsall, another 49er receiver. This is his second year. This is the receiver who got mugged and shot. I believe it was shot, not stabbed, shot at the beginning of last season. So he was out for part of the season. He showed some flashes with the 49ers. He could be their number one this year with the injuries, with the holdouts of Jawan Jennings, which we just talked about. So I'm high on Ricky Pearsall. I'm taking him over Jacoby Myers, definitely. I might even take him over Deebo Samuel too. We'll see about that. And Jawan Jennings, if he's still holding out by the time that I draft, which is coming up next weekend. With the third pick, another receiver, Jaden Reed, Packers. First part of last season, Reed was the number one guy for Jordan Love. I was kicking myself for not drafting him because I want Christian Watson. But the Packers, from week to week, you just don't know who's going to be the number one option. Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson. Now they have Matthew Golden. They also have Wicks, the other receiver, Dontarius Wicks, I think his name is. Then you have Tucker Kraft and Musgrave at tight end. Tons and tons of weapons for the Packers. So good for them. They could be an offensive juggernaut. But I like the potential of Reed. So yeah, he's on my list to take him. And then with the fourth pick, in this 10th round, we're going wide receiver again. This is Jack Beck for the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know much about this guy. I think he's a rookie, and so he would be this next option, that Raider offensive system, like I talked about just a few seconds ago with Jacoby Myers. So definitely a guy for me to read up on more. Geno Smith throwing the ball. Pete Carroll's bringing his system over to the Raiders. So that may be just a person to keep your eye on. With the fifth pick, and now Phil Yates taking his first quarterback. This is quarterback 7 to be drafted, Baker Mayfield. Oh man, I'm a big fan of this guy. Talk about overcoming haters, even though he was in all kinds of commercials, which are excellent. This guy's a fighter, and you're going to get points for me when you grind. Went over to the Rams, did pretty good, and then went over to the Buccaneers, and he found his place. He found his place there. He's got tons of weapons. He's going to give you everything he's got. This is the guy who's going to drop his shoulder and try to run over a linebacker, even though as a fan you don't want him to do that because you don't want him to miss time. Evans, Godwin, Mecca, I'm going to say is the rookie wide receiver, Bucky Irving, Rashard White, Cade Otton. They have good weapons. I like their offensive line. Yeah, Baker Mayfield, happy to have him quarterback in my squads for sure. Sixth pick this round, Rashid Shaheed, wide receiver with the Saints. I had this guy last year in one of my leagues. He was awesome. Throwing one pass, touchdown. You're getting all kinds of fantasy points, big yards, lots of points. He just got hurt. And so in the back of my mind, I just wonder, is this the guy that's going to have that injury history? But when he gets on that field, he's got something special there, that X factor where he breaks it and he gets a touchdown, which that's gold in fantasy football. So keep your eye on Shaheed. Is Rattler throwing him the ball? Is it Tyler Lock? Is it Taysom Hill? Taysom Hill, who also gets that tight end availability when he plays. He's another guy on my list to just swoop him up because he's going to have some big weeks like he usually does. Taysom Hill. Seventh pick, round 10, tight end. David Njoku for the Cleveland Browns. I just said it about Shaheed. Who's going to be throwing Njoku the ball? Is it Shador Sanders? Is it Dylan Gabriel? Joe Flacco? Kenny Pickett? I don't know. They might as well bring back Bernie Kosar. They got so many quarterbacks in that room. Njoku, though, get him on a team with a good quarterback, good system. There's some weapons over there in Cleveland. You just need someone to throw him the ball. So I do like Njoku. He's going to be that next level tier for me just because of that quarterback uncertainty. With the eighth pick, we have quarterback number 8, Brock Purdy from my 49ers. Yeah, Brock keeps surprising me. I don't know how I feel about him, especially with the uncertainty in the wide receiver room with McCaffrey. I don't love the 49ers offensive line, even though the blocking scheme's pretty smart. That's where the 49ers have messed up, is not drafting more offensive linemen. But Brock Purdy, I'm going to keep rooting for that kid. His story's fantastic. He's usually smart with the football. He can do things with his legs. He's got that escapability that you want, so he can get out of sacks, can make passes on the run. Doesn't have the best arm, but if he's smart with the ball, he can put up some numbers for you. If McCaffrey's back healthy, Brock should go back and produce like he did the year before last. Pick number 9, another wide receiver from the Bills. This is Keon Coleman. He could end up being the number 1. Like I said earlier, when we're talking about Shakur, we're still trying to find out who Josh Allen's number 1 is going to be. There was a lot of hype around Keon Coleman last year, so this could be the year. Another person, just kind of keep your eye on the radar. Even if Shakur is number 1 and Coleman's number 2, that Bills offense hums. A lot of weapons. Josh is a beast. Good luck bringing him down. He's going to run you over. He's going to stiff arm you. He's going to throw a ball, from end zone to end zone, a Napoleon Dynamite style. And yeah, I love Josh Allen. So anybody on that squad, I'm going to be open to drafting. And last pick, round 10, you have Brian Robinson Jr. with the Commanders. Yeah, Daniels, Debo, McLaurin, Austin Eckler. I like the system the Commanders are building. Brian Robinson's not going to get you huge numbers, but he can be that goal line back, get you some touchdowns. There's rumors floating that he might get traded or they're looking to shop him, but he seems like he's a strong, powerful guy. Nothing flashy, but I think most of his points are going to come if he snags some touchdowns. So, all right, that is round 9 and 10 of the ESPN Fantasy Football Mock Draft. Hope you've all enjoyed these videos, and good luck on your upcoming drafts.